Hey guys, Paul here from Meldrum Performance Coaching, Complete Personal Training Podcast. This is episode number 2 in our goal setting series. And in this one, we're going to be talking about the downsides of SMART goals. So as personal trainers, we're taught to set both within our businesses and with our clients, SMART goals: specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. And at first glance, this is fantastic because having a specific goal allows you to really narrow down on what you're trying to achieve. Having a measurable goal allows you to figure out what metrics you want to do to track that. Achievable helps you work out if the goal is something realistic or not. So for me, winning the 100-meter sprint in the Olympics, probably not that achievable and or realistic, which is the fourth thing, which is the goal realistic and timely? So is there a time frame put on that? Now, all these things fit really well into a goal setting framework. However, what a lot of people don't discuss is the potential downsides of setting a SMART goal. So I wanted to dive into that here, both for our PT clients and for our PT businesses. So the first downside is that they're outcome-based. And quite often, we don't control what the outcome is. And there's a number of reasons for that. So let's dive into it from a client's perspective. The client comes to us and they want to lose a goal of 20 kilos in 6 months. That's it's realistic, it's achievable, there's a time frame, it's specific, there's all that kind of stuff there. However, there's a number of factors that can happen in that 6-month period that may make that 20 kilo goal not achievable. Totally outside the client's control. They could gain muscle, which would actually gain weight, which even though it's a net positive, they may interpret that as a net negative. Life could get in the way. There's so many different things that could happen. They could go away on a holiday and gain a couple of kilos. They could get laid off from work. There's so many a pandemic could happen. There's so many different things that could happen that will affect that client's ability to achieve that particular goal. In our PT business, we might go, all right, cool. In the next month, I want to add 20 clients to my roster. And I'm going to, you set all the behaviors and all that kind of stuff that you need to do to achieve that. I'm going to walk the floor. I'm going to post on social media. I'm going to have a paid promotion. I'm going to do all these different things. But you may not get there. And it could be there's an unavailability of leads. There's a pandemic. You're not converting at a high enough ratio. There's a ton of different things that get there. And putting that unnecessary pressure on you when you don't hit that goal, which is beyond your control anyway, leads to you beating yourself up, not feeling good, not believing in the value of goal setting, and kind of giving up on what you want to achieve. So a better way to do it, and which we talked about a little bit in the last one, is to set more behavior-based goals. So with these, what will happen is you'll eventually get to a goal, or as good as that you can possibly get, if you commit to the process. So for example, for someone who wants to lose 20 kilos, I'm going to eat one big ass salad every day. I'm going to have protein with every meal. I'm going to hit 10,000 steps. These are all kind of behavior-based goals, things that they do each and every day. And if they miss a day, it's not that big a deal. They can kind of just pick back up and get back on the horse again. So this helps them develop the skills and the psychological characteristics of grit, of resiliency, of the self-compassion, the ability to get back up. All really important things. In the PT business, if you have the behaviors and the practices of walking the floor, saying hello to every member, making sure you get 2 new leads a week, etc., or you do your best to get that as long as the average is out, that's a much better way to look at it. The next thing with SMART goals, the second problem, is that they focus on outcome over mastery. So what do I mean by that? When we're achieving goals, a lot of the time the goal achieving can be, we need to look at it as for extrinsic purposes or intrinsic purposes. Extrinsic purposes is like, a weight loss challenge where you get like a financial reward at the end of it or something like that. What happens when we set an outcome-based goal? We're setting for a smart outcome-based goal. We're aiming for a target that's very outside of us. It's not really who we are yet. If we focus more on mastery with our stuff, so becoming the best weight trainer that we can, learning how to cook really well, learning how to communicate to our clients in the best way possible, learning how to coach in the best way possible, and commit to the mastery of the process, generally what's going to happen there is we're going to get to the same goal anyway, except we're going to enjoy the process a lot more, and we're going to keep this intrinsic process of motivation, of autonomy, of mastery moving forward and get better outcomes. You see this all the time with the best athletes in most sports. They're the ones who, they don't really care about winning after a period of time. They care about being the best that they can and learning the sport and mastering the fundamentals, mastering the techniques and the advanced stuff to the highest level of their ability. And the winning, the glory, all the other stuff comes as a side effect of that. So this doesn't mean that SMART goals are necessarily bad, but there is some downsides to it, as there are to anything. There's always two sides to every coin, unless you're Harvey Dent. So what I challenge you to do with your clients and yourself is to work out what your SMART goals are. We're going to go over in the next episode or two how to do habits and behaviors and behavior-based goals as part of that. Have a look at what the specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely goals are. From there, have a look at, what's the mastery that we're trying to achieve here? What can we look at mastering so we can get better outcomes and we can actually really commit to that process and getting better? And then how can we look at it and what contingencies can we make for if we don't achieve that goal for factors outside of our control? So what that does there, you're kind of pre-planning for the worst, or not the worst to happen, you're pre-planning for any kind of errors that come up, you're creating contingencies there, and that's going to allow you to stay on track when things don't go right. Stay tuned, guys, for the next couple of episodes. Really looking forward to sharing more with you.